of Grown Sexy, Singles Over 40. I'm your host, Shannon, and I am so glad that you're rocking with me again. Listen, if you haven't liked, subscribed to the Hope TV, go ahead and do that. Whatever you're looking for, you can find it on the Hope TV. So, listen, I want you to understand, you can get financial literacy, something for the kids. There's Single in the City. God, there's a cooking show. There's something for the little bit mature folks on there too, called Forever Young, but there's something for everyone. So it's not just there's inspirational stuff. And of course, you can always watch our Sunday morning worships. But tonight, on Grown and Sexy, Singles Over 40, I have somebody that's dear to me. Y'all know I don't bring just anybody to the show. I vet them because I want you to know that what they have bring value. That I want you guys to meet tonight is a friend of mine, but he's got something to say. So go ahead and tag somebody. Let them know that Grown and Sexy is on. Y'all know what days.
Hey, how you doing, everyone? I'm Shawn Marcus. It's nice to be here, and thank you so much to Shannon for having me with Grown and Sexy.
So listen, guys. Shawn Marcus has something called Speak Up. And what I want you guys to know is how that came about, what you're looking for, what can you expect, because y'all know his name and stuff is on the bottom of the screen. Go ahead and look this up right after we get off here. But Shawn, what's Speak Up with Shawn Marcus?
Speak up. Hey, in life right now, I think it's a time when a lot of people are giving their opinions and their thoughts about different situations, whether it be love. So Speak Up with Shawn Marcus is just an area where it's a platform that I built because I was starting to see, I'm big on fatherhood.
Okay.
Big on fatherhood, relationships and things like that. Is that it was a lot of bitterness and vitriol coming from the female community. And then not only that, we had got used to that. Then it started being the men were getting, upset and visceral and talking about to separate. So I wanted to do something for that. It's not that I'm a genius or anything, I have all the answers, but what it is I was married for 25 years and I have been through some things. I've been great at being a husband, I've been great at being a father, I've been bad at being a husband, but I've still been great at being a father.
Right.
So in that situation, it was just time to say, hey, listen, we can do some things and we can kind of get some solutions to some heavy problems that might just take a little bit of thought to think differently on how to handle it.
Okay, I get that. So what's different between Speak Up with Shawn Marcus and then all of this high value stuff, all of these platforms that seem to be maybe telling their version of truth, but packaged in a way that can be off-putting? Is it that type of platform?
Not at all. And I totally understand what you're saying. The thing about when we're speaking, whether it's an opinion that you agree upon or not, you have to, it's the delivery that you do. It's the delivery. It's the tone that you're setting. A lot of people, listen, when you're going back and forth with a person in an argument, you can't raise your voice or yell. You have to be calm and be able to talk about it so someone can actually want to listen to you. And I think a lot of the situations that's out there now are really more vile, more pushing your buttons.
Or shock value kind of thing. Well, I mean, we had a conversation the other day about why certain fights and anything negative seems to get so much attention and the positives not. Have we just conditioned ourselves to want to see people in situations that because we're packaging it as entertainment a lot of times. Some of the very well-known Instagram handles or blogs or vlogs or videos or whatever are based on negatives to our community. Is that just what we're conditioned to?
Well, the word conditioned is a good word that you're using because a lot of times I think it is programming. I think if you look at, just look at having a positive show like this, right?
Yeah.
It's a great show, great audience, but it's more popular. And why is that? Are we tuned in to automatically be conditioned to drama.
Yeah.
You know, so things like that. So I totally understand that.
So what I liked about when I first came across Shawn Marcus, Speak Up, I just minute videos. You've got some really great 1 minute videos, 2 minutes, because my attention span is short.
Understandable.
And I just want to see, what is this guy talking about? And one, your voice is amazing.
Oh, well, thank you.
And I know you do like voiceovers, and he'll get to tell you a little bit about who he is in a little bit. But I wanted to talk about a video that I came across called Super Parents.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And that one really struck home for me. So set that up for me. What made you even?
Because I'm a father.
Yeah.
And I know that I've always been the type of person that's always doing something for everybody else.
Right.
Always, constantly, not really doing a lot for myself. Your kids, that's really, you start taking that job on completely. I mean, everything you do from the moment you have a child is nurture that child,
Right.
take care of that child. Your life becomes that child. And I think we forget that we have a life.
Yeah.
And so what happened is, as it was going on in situation, you're doing all the football games. I even coached Little League. I did the whole thing, surrounding myself with my family. And as college happened, now you start to see that your kids have their own life.
Yes.
Right? And then what happened to your life? You might have postponed some, you might have cut some corners for yourself to make sure your kids are stable,
Right.
or make sure they're provided for. And so what happens in that situation is then you become an empty nester, per se, and you're wondering, what am I gonna do? I mean, the relationship you had might have been gone, however that is. But the thing is, now it's time for you to live. And a lot of times you're so trapped and used to doing something for somebody else, being that super parent,
Yeah.
that you don't know exactly how to live your life.
Or how to start again.
Exactly.
I did a show talking about how to start over. Because whether you're trying to get into a relationship, that you're single again or starting again, or like you're saying that you spent a lot of time making sure everybody was good. And so one of the things I suggested, and I want to hear your feedback on it, is I was like, learn to like yourself. Because we are so busy being the taxi, the mama, the nurse, the cook, the whatever that is, and we're not really, we can't even go out ourselves. Like, we are so used to being with someone ourselves. So that was one of the things that I talked about was, do something by yourself. Learn to like your own company. Learn to be okay with your own thoughts. So what would you say to now kids are grown? Some of them are getting married, and that's the first time you've been that separated from them.
One of Dr. Gino's strengths in his preaching to me is his ability to situate the listener.
Transition is hard. In fact, I dare say that it's one of the most difficult things to do. And I mean, in a real sense, it is so hard that in one, it produces fear.
You pick an image that we all can relate to. What do you love most about your practice of African American preaching? Go.
My practice of African American preaching is steeped in Zora Neale Hurston's Negro expression. When we sing a song, it's sung a lot differently. When we do a dance, it's done a lot differently, because we take it through our struggle and we adorn it and beautify it. And we've had to dare to find God and mine hope, so that we might be able to know that the trouble that we go through doesn't last always.
It's going to take more than just us. It's going to take the community, the world, to help us make a change.
We have none other than Dr. John Paul McGee in the studio with us. You have such a unique gift of both piano, organ performance, but also preaching, right? So I want to know, what do you love most about your ministries of music and preaching?
I love the opportunity to be limitless in the expression of the gospel message. I'm able to express it through oration, sermonically, public speaking in non-ecclesial contexts, but also through what is deemed the universal language, which is music. I'm really grateful and the opportunity to even converse about it, to reflect on what God has given me, the weight of it, the immensity of it. It is truly humbling.
How would you suggest someone start again?
Well, I guess the first thing you would have to do is start focusing on you. And like you said, once you start loving yourself, you know,
Yeah.
and we have a lot of cliches, but it is true. We do need to love ourselves more, because I think we always put other people first in a lot of situations, and we never loved ourselves. We loved everyone else.
Well, I think there might be a fear of feeling like, you know, you're being selfish if you're not giving and doing, and or sometimes, especially for women, they feel guilty if they spend money on themselves or spend time that they could have put into someone else. So just getting used to being okay with whatever status you're in, I think we have a problem doing that. And so for a show like mine, like, yeah, everybody wants to be grown and sexy, but what is that? But we're in the bed at home at 9 o'clock watching a Netflix series, because we lost that. What do I like? I know what my kids like. I even know what my grandbaby likes.
Very true.
But what shows do I like, or am I just watching what somebody has introduced me to?
Right.
Do I even really like this, or this is just what I've been watching? And so I encourage people to just date themselves. Get dressed up and just go by yourself. Go post up at a bar. I like to dance. I'm okay rolling up by myself, valet parking, getting out.
Now that's good, right.
And having a good time, but a lot of people aren't there. So is that what you're saying to a super parent, to spend time with themselves?
Well, just find out some of the things that you wanted to do in your life. Go back to your memories. Go back to your thoughts, your dreams, and find out what some of the things were that were really important to you, that you say, you know what, let me put that in a box over to the side for a little while until, you know, I get the kids and everything. Now it's your time. So now you got to go back and find out, what is it that excites you? What is it that floats your boat?
And one of the reasons, guys, listen, I know you're going to see Shawn Marcus stuff on the bottom of the screen. I want you definitely to go subscribe to everything that I really, really enjoyed about getting to know him and his platform, that it wasn't just one-sided. A lot of times we're on platforms that just deal with one area. It might be, because a lot of people were saying, well, Shannon, is this show about relationships? Listen, it's about anything going on for people that's my age, because there's a gap there that's missing. So yes, we do talk about relationships and dating and stuff like that, but we're also talking about life. We want you to live the best versions of your life. So if you've been a parent, just got through talking about super parents, but that was something that you had on your show, that it said OGs have knowledge. And I clicked on that, and you said on the caption, send this to every male you know, or every guy you know. But I clicked on it just to see what he was talking about, because I was like, what is he talking about to the guys, right?
Of course.
Because I was nosy.
Just like a lady.
There you go. But when I listened to that, I said, oh, I see what he's saying. So, yeah, relationships, but he also talks about life and wanting everybody to learn maybe some lessons. And I think we've lost that, because can't nobody tell us nothing. We want to do it our own way, kind of thing. But talk about OGs have knowledge. What did you want the young guys to get out of that?
Well, growing up, you know, in the neighborhood, see, a lot of young men are raised by the street, no matter how good a mom they have.
Right.
And if the father is in the home, a lot of times it's not. But even if it is, you're still kind of raised in the street, you know. you're going to get the values and things from your mom or your parents, but the street is what's raising you. And in the street, you're listening to a lot of uncles, you're listening to a lot of friends, you know, and most of it growing up as a young man is talking about sex and trying to introduce you to that, but nobody's telling you how to really live. You just thinking, I just want to get pleased. I just want to get pleased. That's the value of a man. As a young man, we're thinking that. But it's a problem because once we start getting into an adult and we start dating, right? Now, you love this woman, but you've never been monogamous.
Yeah.
You just so now you're faced with some things that you had never been faced with. So in that case, you just have to. And I lost the train.
Yeah, I mean, when you're talking about OGs have knowledge, what knowledge should they be passing along that they may or may not be?
Right. Well, that's simple. Here it is. A lot of times they'll start off and they'll be like, hey, man, when I was young, I used to do this, I used to do that. They doing that, right? But nah, that's fine. You know, everybody gonna brag about themselves and things like that, and it always happens. But I guess the thing is tell me about when you were acting like that. Tell me the bad part of that. Tell me about when you played the young lady, or this happened, or when you did this situation. Tell me, Unc, what happened then?
Yeah.
School is, my whole thing, and even starting to speak up, is because I did some great things in my marriage and some bad things. And being a great parent, I said, hey, I can tell some people some good things to do and some things not to do. And that's what it's all about, paying it forward, right? So if you're going to an unc or an OG or however it is, you want him to tell you not only the great stories he had, but tell the bad stories so that you won't have to deal with that, so that that young man won't have to go into that situation, right? And the more you save people from hurting other people and learning from the mistakes that we've already made, the better.
Yeah, I get that. What do you think people as a whole don't look at themselves? I mean, do we take for granted, or is it easy to blame someone else?
Of course.
And where would we be if we just took a moment to reflect on, let me take responsibility for my part in this. And so therapy has taught me a couple of things, that when I apologize for my part. Like maybe we're arguing and you said some stuff and I said some stuff. But when I apologize, let me apologize for what I said and what I did, because you may or may not feel like you owe me an apology. But I want to apologize for my part. I think being more self-aware has helped me, instead of just saying, well, you ought to apologize to me. Well, what about the part that I played in it? Realizing you can't argue by yourself and all of that stuff. How do you think, as a whole, as the people that you are interacting with, are we self-aware?
Well, basically what you're talking about is accountability. And that's something that I think most lack, is accountability, because they don't want to see the wrong in themselves. They don't want to see, like I put a post out a long time ago and it said, out of the hundreds of thousands of times you've looked in the mirror, have you truly seen yourself? Have you? Have you seen yourself? Or are you seeing this imaginary person that you want to be? And so when accountability comes in, people have to really look at who they are and kind of see, you know, their imperfections, as well as their goods.
Yeah, so I was seeing someone, and I've learned that there's different terms to all kinds of stuff now. I'm too old school for some stuff. I'm telling you. And so I'm like, oh, we're not dating. Oh, we are. Just the terminology is so different. But this person could readily, on a dime, tell me everything that they did not like about me. But if you said anything about them, they literally turned into the Hulk. I mean, it was like, okay, but you can tell me, but I can't tell you.
It's easy.
And so that kind of bothered me, because it's like you're not going to like everything about everyone, but if you're vocal enough to tell somebody else what you don't like, you cannot really believe that they like everything about you. And what I was finding is that was absolutely what the person, you know, they were not used to people telling them that what they did not like.
Okay.
And so, but they was really available to tell me, you know, Shannon, you got a good heart and you this, but, and I was like, well, I don't like everything about you either.
Right.
And just that sentence there would set somebody off. So accountability and knowing that your life, how you were brought up, changes how you think, shapes how you think. And you may not agree. Are people less likely to have a conversation when they don't agree? Or are we looking for somebody to co-sign and think just like us?
Well, it depends on the person.
Okay.
Because, of course, it's always easier to point fingers at somebody else and not look at yourself. But if you want to mature and grow and get better with age, then we have to start paying attention to what others say about us.
We have none other than Dr. John Paul McGee in the studio with us. You have such a unique gift of both piano, organ performance, but also preaching, right? So I want to know, what do you love most about your ministries of music and preaching?
I love the opportunity to be limitless in the expression of the gospel message. I'm able to express it through oration, sermonically, public speaking in non-ecclesial contexts, but also through what is language, which is music. I'm really grateful and the opportunity to even converse about it, to reflect on what God has given me, the weight of it, the immensity of it. It is truly humbling.
It's going to take more than just us. It's going to take the community, the world, to help us make a change.
One of Dr. Gino's strengths in his preaching to me is his ability to situate the listener.
Transition is hard. In fact, I dare say that it's one of the most difficult things to do. And I mean, in a real sense, it is so hard that in one, it produces fear.
You pick an image that we all can relate to. What do you love most about your practice of African American preaching? Go.
My practice of African American preaching is steeped in Zora Neale Hurston's Negro expression. When we sing a song, it's sung a lot differently. When we do a dance, it's done a lot differently. When we preach a sermon, it's done a lot differently, because we take it through our struggle and we adorn it and beautify it. And we've had to dare to find God and mine hope so that we might be able to know that the trouble that we go through doesn't last always.
Let's talk about the word truth for a second, because what may be true to you may or may not be true to me. And so that's where it's like, okay, you may feel like that and that's your opinion. It's not like, oh, this color is red. You know, this is truth, this is red. But somebody could see it as dark red, light red, burgundy, whatever it is. So even though it's true to you, it may not be true to me. And I think just accepting that it's not her truth, it's my truth. If that's happening in our age group, because we're so defensive. People our age, we're grown and sexy. You know, we say that, but are we really grown?
No.
Some of us are immature and sexy.
I totally agree.
I don't care what the age is. We're over 40, but we're really immature. Because it's like, if you don't like what I say, I don't like you anymore. And it's like, that's the part of the world that I'm not liking right now.
Right. Well, the thing is grown and sexy, true. And I got a flip side of that. It's like, I was thinking the other day, how can we, if you look at a young relationship, like when you were 20,
Yeah.
and then you say a lot of the same things you said when you were 20 are still being said at 40. But then we're supposed to have all the red flags, all the radars, but then we're still continually dating that same type of person that we were dating at 20.
Yeah. That I didn't like at 20.
Did you not like it?
And so that 20-year-old just grew up.
Exactly. And
to
so
now he's 50.
But your taste and your type, I put something out called Are You My Type? Or should we get, a lot of times your type evidently is not what's working for you.
Yeah, that hasn't worked.
It's not working.
Because you might like this person, but that's not really what's compatible to you.
Right.
And so you're constantly being frustrated because this type of person doesn't serve you well. But we like what we like.
Say it again.
So getting rid of what we like, some people won't even open up the possibility that somebody else could be.
Let's go there. Okay, so you got the 6 feet. Everybody wants you to be 6 what? 6'2", over 6 feet.
And see, I just heard that. Like my co-host brought that up and said that everybody wants somebody 6'2", 6'3", or over 6 feet, making a certain amount of money, this, that, and the third. And I'm like, I'm 5'2". Everybody's taller than me. So that had never.
But what size man do you like? Do you prefer a size?
Well, no.
Come on now, Deshawn.
I don't think I prefer a size, because...
What's your ideal man?
I don't know, but what I'm saying is I don't exclude people because I want to get to know the person, because I want them to know me. I don't want them to see the on-stage me. I don't want them to see the CEO me. I don't want them to see the pastor me. I want them to see me in my element of just a simple country girl from Alabama. So I don't exclude people based on that. Now, physically, I mean, I can't squint my eyes and make you cute. Now, I'm gonna say that.
Right.
But what I will say is that I have purpose to enjoy the date, even if I don't enjoy the person, because I might like you, or I might not. So, but I won't know that if I'm just looking in one lane.
That's right.
So it's not like I like light skin or dark skin or big or little or skinny or muscular or whatever, because what if I'm missing out on a really great person?
But most people don't think like that.
But that's where Speak Up comes in.
That's right. See, and that's the thing. We have to speak up on different subjects and different opportunities, but what we have to do is just the little things. To me, it's the little things, and that's what Speak Up does. I just bring up the little things.
Okay.
It's just like when you barbecuing, right? And I tell the ladies this. Ladies, when your man out there barbecuing for Memorial Day, Labor Day, or the 4th of July, whatever, do you take him a cold drink? Do you take him
It is the little things.
It's the little things that
Okay, so
men
listen,
like.
guys, of course, we're nowhere near finished with this conversation because I've got to bring him back. We're just getting started. We could talk all day, all night, but what and sexy tonight was let you know that, yes, we do talk about dating and websites and how to do that, but we're talking about life. Some of us are not living our best life. Some of us right now are trying to figure out how to start over, how to do it again, thinking about, just life in general. How should I be talking to my children, my nieces, my nephews, the girls at work, the guys at work? We want to make sure you're living the best version of your life. So, of course, this is Shawn Marcus. I'm going to bring him back for part 2, and we're going to get into some of the things that he really, really, really is passionate about. So don't miss this. So look, thank you so much for all the comments, the questions, the love, rocking with me for, oh my God, for a couple of, love that. But guys, grown and sexy, we're single, we're over 40, but we want to be the best we can be right now. We can't do nothing about years ago, but we can look forward, and that's what I want us to do. So until next week, guys, listen, just go ahead and mark your calendars. Go to the Hope TV. They've got all kinds of programming there. Subscribe, like. Go to Shawn Marcus with Speak Up. He's got all kinds of things. Oh, get some merchandise, too. He's got some really on his site. But we're going to bring him back for part 2. Go ahead and put your comments, your questions in the chat. Let us know what you're thinking. Until next week, we'll come back again and do this again, right?
Amen. We will.
Okay.
We will.
So we'll see you next week. Thanks, guys.